Goa is often seen as a sun-soaked paradise with beautiful beaches and vibrant culture. However, beneath the surface lies a fascinating and complex history shaped by centuries of Portuguese rule and the spread of Christianity. In this video, we uncover 8 lesser-known facts about how the Portuguese and Christianity transformed the Goan society. You'll never see Goa the same way again. Before the Portuguese came to Goa, there was a tradition where the groom and his family had to pay the bride's parents money or gifts to marry her, in a way, buying her like property. The Portuguese did not like this idea, so they introduced the dowry system instead. But this new system also caused many problems. Now it was the bride's family that had to pay the groom. Poor families who couldn't afford a dowry couldn't get their daughters married, resulting in some girls remaining unmarried, while grooms could become wealthy. Families with many daughters suffered the most. Over time, this practice spread across India, and sadly, even today, the country is still dealing with its terrible effects, including cases of female infanticide. One major part of the Goan society was the caste system, which affected practically all areas of life, from high status like being a Brahmin to extreme discrimination like untouchability. When the Portuguese arrived and many people converted to Christianity, it brought some changes, but sadly, the caste system stayed. The missionaries focused mostly on spreading their religion, not on changing societal problems like caste. They believed everyone was equal as a Christian, so they ignored caste differences during conversion. But when whole villages converted together, people kept their caste identities even within Christianity. At times, converts were allowed to keep their old surnames which showed their caste. Though this was done so they wouldn't lose their social status, it actually resulted in the caste system continuing within the Christian community. Quite often, when someone converted to Christianity, they took on a new surname. They bore names of high dignitaries: the Viceroy, Captain, Fidalgo, that is those of nobility, a rich or honored person, or sometimes of their own pastor. The names were usually Portuguese or Spanish, Italian, French, or English according to the nationality of the patron. At other times, rich old Goa sponsors who promised to care for the beginner's faith gave their names. Also, anyone who wished to give his or her name could write to the religious minister and have it given to the beginners in faith. Sati, the practice where a widow would burn herself on her husband's funeral pyre, was highly prevalent in the pre-Portuguese Goa. Since women couldn't inherit any property if a widow didn't commit sati, she was often shaved bald, made to wear plain clothes, and had to live with and serve her husband's brother's family. Widows from higher castes like Brahmins or Kshatriyas were rarely allowed to remarry. Poor widows often ended up begging or working at temples. After the Portuguese took over Goa, Afonso de Albuquerque banned the cruel practice of sati. To make sure it stopped, even cremation, that is, burning of dead bodies, was banned in 1559. Later, this ban was extended to more areas like Salcete and Partes. The changes in the education system were connected to the arrival of the printing press. Old Goa was the first place in India to have a printing press. But the third one was set up at St. Ignatius College in Rashol, which was earlier called the Holy Spirit College of Margao. This press worked from 1616 to 1649 and printed the first and second editions of Thomas Stephen's Purana and his Konkani grammar book. A viceroy's decree or provision was binding in the Eastern Empire. The viceroy was the highest judicial authority east of the Cape. His word was law in Portuguese territory. In civil suits, his court was of final resort, and in criminal matters he could even pass capital sentence, except in the case of Portuguese noblemen. He could even pardon crimes at his discretion, sometimes without meeting the person. This gave him immense power. But like other Portuguese nobles and officials, the viceroy too came to India to make a fortune and seeking self-glorification. During his tenure, he hoped to realize his get-rich-quick policy and live out his last days in comfort and honor back home in Portugal. A factor which literally changed the environment of the countryside was the introduction of exotic trees and plants. To Luis Fernandes de Vasconcelos, who set out from Lisbon in 1557 and wintered in Brazil, goes the honor of having brought the first pineapples to India. In 1575, however, the cashews brought from the same country was growing in Vasai near Bombay. And around this time, several other fruits, vegetables and medicines came to Goa, including Adam's apple, bullock's heart, breadfruit, chiku, custard apple, beetroot, cabbage, cauliflower, coriander, French bean and potatoes, among many others. During the tenure of Viceroy Pedro Mascarenhas, the whole Goan enclave except Goa city and its immediate surroundings was divided among the religious orders. The Dominicans getting 15 villages in Tiswadi, the Jesuits, the rest of the area and all Salcete, and the Franciscans Partes. This division of areas allowed each religious order to focus on specific regions, helping them to spread Christianity more effectively. The Jesuits, known for their educational and missionary zeal, played a major role in the religious and cultural transformation of Salcete. Over time, this division of territory became the foundation for structured evangelization in Goa and contributed significantly to the region's religious history. While these facts may highlight some positive aspects of Portuguese influence in Goa, we cannot ignore the violent and often forceful nature of their rule. In what was known as the rigor of mercy, they imposed restrictions on local feasts, practices, and also destruction of places of worship. The establishment of the Inquisition in Goa led to many people being imprisoned, tortured, or publicly shamed. The story of Christianity in Goa is a mix of spiritual devotion, social upheaval, and colonial influence. While it brought education, printing, and new ideas, it also reinforced old hierarchies and sparked cultural clashes. Understanding these 8 facts gives us a deeper look into how religion, politics, and society intertwined in Goa's past, and how those echoes are still felt today. Did you find this interesting? Would you like more of such videos? Don't forget to like, share, and comment, and subscribe for more.